Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and start our webinar now. We would, again, ask that anyone who's joined the call, please go ahead and mute your phones. And if you can continue to keep them muted, we are recording today's webinar. Hopefully we'll have limited interruptions, and at the end we'll open the calls up, and I'll ask people to please go ahead and unmute their phones, and they can ask any questions. Feel free as well during the process of the webinar. If you have any questions, you can send them via chat, and either myself or Charlotte Sweet or Jen Stiles will hopefully be able to accommodate those questions. We do ask that you keep those lines muted until the end of the call, and again, that way we're ensured that we're able to get through the basics and then answer any questions that may come up. To formally introduce myself, my name is Rob Housen, and I'm an education technology consultant here at Jones & Bartlett. Our primary function here at JBL is to provide training to educators and instructors like yourselves who've decided to move forward using our technology in the classroom. So this puts us in a unique position where we're able to share best practices that we've come across in multiple different learning environments in multiple different classrooms across the U.S. and internationally. Today's presentation is the fourth in a series of 5 presentations. I only anticipate today's webinar to last roughly 15 minutes. To be considerate of your time, it will be based on feedback from educators like yourselves, and we're sharing some best practices of what others are doing across the country utilizing digital technology in the online classroom. Today we're focusing specifically on increasing student accountability using technology. Now, what I'm going to do here is basically make sure that everyone understands some of the premises of how our Navigate 2 platform is set up and the really robust dashboard analytics and reporting functionality that's available. So I'm going to share an actual application window in just a moment. And here I am actually logged in as a student, so I'm going to actually toggle around a little bit this morning, showing you how students are able to access certain material and instructors are able to view how they're engaged in that material to really kind of make sure that you're able to improve the accountability of students with their engagement of the actual tool. So what you see in front of you is Navigate 2. In our tool, for the Advantage Access level, we include an ebook, and that digital ebook is a fully functioning, rather robust and enhanced, feature-rich tool that we have made available for you as an instructor as well as your students. The first of our cognitive dashboard analytics that are being made available to instructors is what we refer to as our ebook report. The ebook report, as it's currently configured, is displaying data based on student engagement and activity within the actual ebook. So this is a demonstration course, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is spread the date range out and pull some information up, again, within this demo course with some dummy students. But it'll be able to show you the type of analytics that we're looking to show and provide to you as an instructor to guarantee that you're able to get some accountability back from your students who may or may not be engaging the tool. We're able to gauge what the most popular chapters and least popular chapters are based on the number of views of our ebook. We're able to see the best and worst performing chapters based on the students' interaction and submission of quizzes. Ebook chapter quizzes are included by default within the ebook. You are also able to drill down at a more granular level into the class engagement and see the amount of time being spent by your students, as well as the number of resources that are contained within the ebook and annotations that are being made by your students. Obviously, this information is invaluable to you as an instructor to be able to discern how engaged your students truly are with the actual ebook and the functionality within the ebook. You're able to gauge who the best and worst performers are in your course. So again, this is rating the number of hours spent, capturing the number of resources viewed, and annotations made across the ebook as a whole, as well as the student's overall grade. Now, within the class engagement section, you are able to drill in further and drill down into a further detail to really show you some student comparisons. And this is, again, invaluable for you as an instructor to gauge where your students are with regard to classwork engagement, ebook engagement, and then subsequently understand where maybe time can be spent and where time is being spent. So you'll notice that on the students I have here, I have a number of students who've spent some time, viewed some resources, and made some annotations. And I'm able to see how those students have performed against their number of pages viewed, resources viewed, and subsequently their grade on the actual chapter quiz, ebook chapter quiz that's included within the ebook. You also have access to the number of actual most viewed resources. So this is able to actually help you discern what your students are really checking and using. So in this instance, we have the Chapter 1 quiz and then some knowledge checks for Chapter 1. They've really only been viewed once. Again, dummy data, but you can see where over time capturing this information and having the ability to go back and view what your students are actually doing within the ebook could be invaluable for you, and obviously being able to hold them accountable. So what I'd like to do now is just kind of actually hop in as a student and show you how the student engages the ebook, and then subsequently show you as an instructor what that student engagement of the ebook looks like. So I'm going to actually just toggle over for a second. And what you should see now is actually the student view of a pharmacology for nurses course. This student, if I expand the Chapter 1, Introduction to Pharmacology, and then subsequently launch the Chapter 1 ebook, it'll launch on a separate tab and will allow me, as a student, to access that ebook and peruse the pages and take physical notes and make annotations and view actual resources that are included. So under the Resources tab, I'm able to expand and select individual animations, and I can then watch an individual animation regarding protein binding.
Drugs can and often do bind to plasma proteins, usually albumin. If two or more drugs are present in the bloodstream simultaneously, both with a high affinity for binding to the same plasma protein, there will be a drug competition for binding sites.
I'm able to watch this animation, gain a better understanding, and hopefully be able to demonstrate further comprehension. I'm also able to take notes. So for instance, I'm able to leave a note here for myself. So I can create a note for myself and have that reference point. That note will appear as an available item here for myself. As a student, I can then, obviously, this is a linked note, so as I peruse further through the ebook, I'm able to go back and check all of my notes and then periodically return to them as I like to. So again, I can go here, return to the My Stuff area, and then click on an individual note as it appears and jump back to that note. Before I leave the ebook, I'd want to save my actions and say yes. And now, what I can do as, again, a student, I can actually hop into the exact same course as an instructor. And I actually have this Pharmacology for Nurses course already up as an instructor. And if I access the Reports and Grades item, and then launch the ebook report, and I'll put a date range in for today, and literally I'll go from yesterday to today for our report, and see where the application has captured that I've made annotations in Chapter 2, I've viewed a resource, and I've spent, well, not very much time, but you can see that information. I drill in a little further into the class engagement level and get into the actual student comparison. I've viewed 15 pages in total as that student, and I've made that singular annotation that is now recorded here within the actual report. And again, it's capturing the time. Again, dummy data, but valuable information, I feel, for instructors. So you're able to really kind of keep yourself prepared. So let me go through that again. I apologize, there might have been a sharing issue there. So here's the actual report, and I'll actually return to the dashboard in that Pharmacology for Nurses course. So here it is, and I'm going to expand this out to a date. And again, I'll just grab today's data. I apologize for that not being visible to you originally. Now, as I scroll down to the class engagement section, I'm able to see within Chapter 1 what the student has done, but now I'm able to see as well the information that we've just added by watching that available resource on the protein binding, and by drilling in here, I can see a little deeper and a little further how the student has performed. So this individual student has made the singular annotation, has viewed 15 pages, has not taken a quiz yet, but once he does, that quiz grade would appear here, and then obviously the number of resources viewed would be increased, and so on and so forth. You're really able to compare your student's activity and get a really firm understanding of how they're engaging the material, and therefore keeping them accountable to that. So let me actually hop back into our evidence-based practice course and show you one other piece of the reporting structure that really we feel is helpful to you as an instructor to gauge your students' accountability. So under the current course selection on the Navigate left-hand side panel are the report options. I'm able to pull up the underlying logs and then search for a particular student. So we can search today for the Martin Blank student that we've been logged in as, and then get the actual logs for Martin. So we can see that just today, Martin has accessed the course and then opened the actual ebook chapter. If there were other components that I, as a student, did access, and again, you can easily do that here if I hop back over as our student view. Let me share this again. Here I am in the actual course, and if I, for instance, access the slides or the lecture outlines or the web links, that information will be picked up by that reporting structure, and then you as an instructor and we as solutions analysts are able to actually return that information and have those captured data points. This again is the first in a series of reports that are going to be made available to you as an instructor. In addition to the ebook report, we'll be adding additional cognitive-wise reporting structures that will allow you as an instructor to see student activity at a more graphical area and really start to return some bar and pie graph information and charts that'll show you how your students are engaging that actual material. So again, we really feel that we're providing some robust functionality to really drill down and see how your students are engaging the material on a daily basis via the use of reports, as well as getting at a granular level into the logs and the report structure that exists within the tool at an underlying level. So at this point in time, I'll go ahead and ask that if anyone has any questions, to please go ahead and unmute your phone or pass that question along via the chat window, and we'll look at answering any questions that anyone might have at this point in time about this level of functionality, and then we'll actually walk through some of the additional pieces that have upcoming titles basically for the nursing discipline. So feel free to unmute your phones at this time, and what I'll do as well is go back into our PowerPoint presentation and walk through a couple of the remaining pieces. So basically at this point we have the following Navigate 2 products available. We have evidence-based practice for nurses, pharmacology for nurses, gerontological nursing, community health nursing, as well as policy and politics for nurses and other health professionals. Those are the titles that are currently available under the Navigate 2 platform at this time. Coming soon, available later this spring, we'll have some additional Navigate 2 access to the following key nursing titles, specifically health policy and politics, chronic illness, and professional nursing concepts. Some of these titles will be made available within the coming days and may actually be available at this point. The slide was presented and prepared literally about 2 or 3 days ago, so there might be some overlap here with some of these titles now currently being available. If you are interested in seeing further information specific to Navigate 2 and its reporting and graphical presentation of reports and logs, please reach out to your sales rep, and we can look at setting up a personalized demonstration. You can also check out the videos at the linkage below, and you can experience Navigate 2 today with again a free demo course. We will have one final webinar in this year's series on the nursing platforms next next week, and I believe it's actually Thursday, not Tuesday, March 19th, we'll have a session on improving outcomes and test readiness, obviously increase student readiness, and improve outcomes using the digital technology. So at this point in time, again, I'd like to open the floor up if anybody has any questions or any thing that we can clarify or any further granular detail we can provide. Please feel free to speak up or send a message over the chat. Looks like everybody seems to have the information that they're looking for, and nobody has any follow-up questions. If you do, please feel free to reach out to your sales rep, and if necessary, they can escalate that up to our team, the education technology consultants, or likely your sales rep maybe will very easily answer that question for you as well. I'd like to thank you again for joining me today. We've appreciated you taking the time to let us walk you through how to improve student accountability with Navigate 2. And next week, we will focus on improving student outcomes and test readiness. And again, if you'd like to participate in a training session, please contact your account specialist for more information, and we can identify some dates and times. If there are no other questions at this time, I'm going to go ahead and disable the call, and then we look forward to seeing you next week for the final of our 5-point series. Thank you.